Chris Hadfield, the astronaut who sang in space. There are moments in life when a single, unexpected act captures the attention of millions of people around the world, changing the course of a career and sparking a new passion. For Chris Hadfield, that moment came in the form of a song, a cover of David Bowie's iconic Space Oddity, recorded aboard the International Space Station (ISS), hundreds of kilometers above Earth. Hadfield's journey to that historic moment was not a straight line. It was forged through years of determination, resilience, and the unwavering belief that the impossible was just a challenge waiting to be conquered. His story is not just about space exploration but about humanity's capacity for wonder, the power of creativity, and the emotional bond that can form between a man and the world he left behind. The dream takes flight. Chris Hadfield was born in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada in 1959. Growing up, he was captivated by the stars. Like many children of his generation, the Apollo moon landing was a pivotal moment. But unlike many who watched in awe, Hadfield didn't just look at the night sky. He imagined himself among the stars, performing the same daring feats of exploration. The idea of becoming an astronaut was more than a fantasy. It was an obsession that would shape his life in ways he could not yet comprehend. But the path to space wasn't easy. Hadfield's early years were marked by a strong academic foundation, but also by the stark realization that the odds were against him. Becoming an astronaut was not a simple ambition. It was an endeavor pursued by the brightest minds and the most physically capable individuals. Canada didn't have a large astronaut program at the time, and the chances of becoming one seemed like a distant dream, especially for someone from a small town with no immediate connection to the world of space. Undeterred, Hadfield began his ascent, starting with a strong academic background in engineering and a deep commitment to physical fitness. His goal wasn't just to be an astronaut, it was to excel in every area required to make that dream possible. He became a pilot, later joining the Canadian Forces as a test pilot. This, he knew, was the next logical step. It wasn't just about flying a plane. It was about developing the precise skill set that would later enable him to perform the intricate tasks of a space mission. Every moment in his life had purpose and direction. Hadfield was preparing for a future that had, up until that point, seemed out of reach. In 1992, after years of hard work, Chris Hadfield's dream became a reality. He was selected as one of 4 Canadians to join NASA's astronaut program. That moment felt like a culmination of everything he had worked for. He had proven to himself and the world that perseverance could overcome any obstacle. But even as the doors to space opened, the path ahead was filled with new challenges. The training. Becoming an astronaut isn't just about getting on a spaceship. It's about preparation, endless, grueling preparation. Hadfield's training would take him to various parts of the world, from the desolate deserts of California to the isolated regions of Russia, where he would train with cosmonauts. He wasn't just learning how to operate a spacecraft. He was learning how to survive, to think under pressure, and to understand the science of space and the fragility of human life in the unforgiving vacuum beyond Earth's atmosphere. It was in the quiet moments of training, when the rush of activity subsided, that Hadfield began to reflect deeply on what it meant to be in space. He realized that beyond the technical skills, the real test would be mental and emotional. Astronauts aren't just tasked with performing science experiments or fixing equipment. They're also responsible for maintaining their mental and emotional well-being, to stay sane while being isolated from Earth and the people they love for months on end. He experienced the challenges of isolation firsthand. There were moments of intense frustration, exhaustion, and even doubt. But with each test and each hurdle, Hadfield learned how to embrace the uncertainty and navigate the isolation. He wasn't just training to become an astronaut, he was learning to understand the emotional weight that would come with being so far removed from everything familiar. The mission to space. Finally, in December 1995, Hadfield's long journey culminated in his first mission to space aboard the Space Shuttle Atlantis. As he floated in the microgravity of orbit, the Earth below him was a breathtaking sight, a beautiful, fragile sphere, alive with the colors of nature. There was something almost surreal about seeing the planet from space for the first time, and it would be an experience that would change him forever.
Hey there! If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our exciting adventures. Now let's get back to the mystery.
Yet, even as Hadfield marveled at the wonders of space, he also began to realize how deeply connected he felt to the planet below. Despite being miles away, he understood that his mission was not just about exploration, it was about humanity. He was representing all of Earth, and the weight of that responsibility was humbling. The mission also brought its share of hardships. The physical toll of space travel was demanding, from muscle atrophy due to microgravity to the constant pressure of performing complicated tasks. But through it all, Hadfield's unwavering focus and dedication stood out. He was a man driven by purpose, and every moment of discomfort was a reminder of why he was there: to contribute to the advancement of human knowledge and to inspire others to reach for the stars. After his first mission, Hadfield didn't rest on his laurels. He continued to climb, both literally and figuratively, by taking on more missions. His second mission was aboard the International Space Station, ISS, where he would spend months living in space, conducting experiments, and learning firsthand about the daily challenges astronauts face. But it wasn't until 2013, during his third mission to space, that the world would truly get to know Chris Hadfield. The Space Oddity moment. By the time he was assigned to the ISS for his third mission, Hadfield had become a seasoned astronaut, with years of experience under his belt. He had developed a reputation not just for his technical skill, but also for his ability to connect with people. He had always been fascinated by how human beings connect through shared experiences, and he began to think about ways he could bridge the gap between his extraordinary life in space and the everyday lives of people on Earth. One day, during his time aboard the ISS, Hadfield picked up his guitar and recorded a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity. The song, with its haunting lyrics about space travel and isolation, seemed to perfectly capture the essence of his mission and his experience in space. It wasn't just a performance, it was an expression of what it felt like to be so far removed from Earth, both physically and emotionally. Hadfield's version of Space Oddity was not just a song, it was a message. It was a way to show the world that astronauts are not just explorers of space, they are human beings with emotions, struggles, and dreams. He shared the video on social media, and within hours it went viral. People around the world were captivated by the simplicity of the moment. A man, alone in space, singing a song that resonated with so many. The video not only showcased Hadfield's musical talent, but it also showed the world his humanity. It was a raw, honest moment, and it struck a chord with millions. Here was an astronaut who wasn't just a symbol of scientific achievement. He was a person who understood the loneliness of space, but also the beauty and wonder that comes with it. The video was a turning point, not just for Hadfield's career but for how people viewed space exploration. It made space feel more accessible, more human. It was no longer just a realm of science and technology, it was a place where people could express themselves, where emotions could transcend the distance between Earth and the stars. The legacy. Hadfield's time in space and this Space Oddity video catapulted him into the global spotlight, but it was his message that truly resonated with people. He became a symbol of exploration, not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional and intellectual sense as well. He reminded people that the pursuit of knowledge is not just about facts and data, it's about connection, wonder, and the belief that we can always reach higher. In the years since his return from space, Hadfield has continued to inspire others through his writing, speaking engagements, and public appearances. He has become an advocate for space exploration, not just as a scientific pursuit, but as a way to unite humanity and inspire the next generation of dreamers and explorers. Chris Hadfield's journey to space was not just a triumph of technical achievement, it was a journey of self-discovery, perseverance, and a deep understanding of the human condition. His story is one of triumph over adversity, of finding meaning in the midst of isolation, and of the power of creativity to connect us all. Through his journey, Hadfield has shown that even in the vast emptiness of space, we are never truly alone.